Hi there, we're from ADP, and I'm DJ.
I'm Noel.
I'm Calvin. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Page.
I'm Dr. Page's wife, Ellen.
I'm Nick, the executive assistant.
Okay, nice to meet you guys. Before we get started, do you mind if we take notes during this meeting?
Go ahead, be my guest.
And do you still have that 10 to 15 minutes to meet with us today?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you mind if we exchange business cards?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so back to a little background on your business. Is this your only location?
No, we actually have a second location at Peachtree City that employs another 14 staff members in addition to the 20 we have here at the Newman office.
Okay, we were unaware of the second location, but past those two locations, is there any projected expansion?
Assuming everything stays on track, we intend on adding another 5 employees to the Peachtree City office and then constructing a brand new office in Tyrone in the next couple of years.
Okay, so based on that, you employ about 45 people at the moment, but within the next couple of years, that could grow to about 60 individuals. Is that correct?
Assuming the third office is open, yes, we would need roughly 20 workers at each location. You're
Okay.
correct.
Well, as we said, we're from ADP. Are you aware of what we do and who we are?
Somewhat.
Okay, we're a small software company that specializes in payroll solutions for startup businesses like yourself. We actually offer something called Run ADP Mobile. It's a payroll app, and within our company, we just call it Run Mobile. Run Mobile is a fast, easy-to-use, secure payroll app that can give you the freedom to access and work on payroll anytime, anywhere, on a mobile device, iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. And it eliminates a lot of the problems and headaches that come with, time-consuming and payroll system within a company.
Well, we definitely have a lot of those headaches, especially in the payroll category.
So do you mind telling us who does the payroll for your business?
I'm solely responsible for all payroll-related tasks.
Okay, so would you consider this a part-time job or a full-time job?
Well, when we first opened, it started as just a part-time basis, but as the business has expanded and we have taken on more employees, the payroll has consumed a lot of my time and basically pushed it to a more full-time position. And we've actually considered hiring a person just strictly to manage the payroll so I can have some of my time back.
Wow, so that's just another expense to add to you guys' list. Do you think that would affect your plans of expansion, possibly?
If we need to add another individual, it definitely would put a damper on our time frame we set for our expansion, which would not simplify it.
Right, we understand. And I'm assuming when you first took those workload, you were only at one location, so the workload wasn't anywhere near it was now.
You're correct. We initially only had the Newman office.
Okay, and if you don't mind us asking, do you guys have any kids?
Yes, we have 2 children, both under the age of 10.
So there's another issue. The time you could be spending with your children is being used to keep the payroll at your business in line. Do you mind asking us which software you're currently using?
Not at all. The software is called Microsoft Dynamics.
We're familiar with that software. Do you know roundabout how costly the product initially was for upkeep?
Initially, and I'm not too certain what we paid for the product, but every year we have to spend about $1,500 to upgrade the software and remain current.
Oh. Well, that's a lot for a small business owner, I have to say. Every little bit counts when you're not a big corporation. I think we can all agree on that. Now tell us, was the software easy to learn? Do you have to enter in the information manually, or was the process automated?
It's actually kind of a hassle. You actually have to enter it manually.
Enter it manually, okay.
The software is easy to get a hang of. It just doesn't do a lot of things we would like it to be able to do. And the worst part is the amount of time it takes to do such a simple task because of typing everything manually in.
So you mentioned the amount of time it takes. Roughly how much time does it take you and Ellen each period to do payroll?
Well, I'd say it takes about roughly 3 minutes to total each time card per employee, and then another hour to key in to the payroll system itself. And then after that process of cutting, stuffing, checks takes around another 2 hours for all the employees.
Wow, that's a lot of work for one woman. So in all, that takes you about 5 hours to do just payroll every other week.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely in the ballpark.
Well, for me to multiply that number by 26, and that definitely is a big chunk of your time. Now, that number, 5 hours, that's assuming everything goes perfectly and smoothly, right? Do you ever face any problems while you're carrying out these processes?
Yes, unfortunately, every pay period there's roughly 4 to 5 problems with checks that require us to void them out and recalculate the proper amount or correct the errors that we've made.
We understand. Have any of your employees ever complained about this? That could definitely affect an employee morale if they feel like they're not getting compensated correctly every pay period.
There have been complaints, but we always correct the checks and get them what they've earned. We just don't want the employees to have to be concerned over whether their checks are correct or not, and with our current system, we obviously can't do that.
Right, we definitely understand, sir. Now, assuming you didn't have to deal with the payroll anymore, how would you reallocate all that time you guys would now have on your hands?
Well, I would definitely take advantage of that free time and spend it with our kids.
Oh, we see. So back to the software. How does it handle paid time off?
That's an easy question. It actually doesn't handle it at all.
Well, if that's the case, how do you handle your paid time off?
Well, we use another Microsoft program, Microsoft Excel, and we will go in and sum the number if each employee has paid time off based on their seniority within the company.
Oh, and when are your employees able to view that?
Every month we go in and update everyone's PTO balance and then send out a report once the numbers have been summed up.
Oh, every other month? Well, that's not very frequent. We can imagine you have a lot of employees calling in to inquire about how much paid time they have and how much more frequently than every once or 2 months.
Yeah, because it takes so much time to keep it updated. We don't do it as often, and we'd like to, so when somebody calls, we are forced to make calculations on the fly.
We imagine there are some errors with a method like that. Have you ever messed up a calculation by a few hours or so?
On occasion, yes, but the main problem is employees use their PTO before they actually earned it, and then something happens and they're terminated or leave the business. We end up eating that money we've already paid for them for the PTO, which they didn't earn yet.
Okay, we can imagine that adds up as well. More money that goes down the drain. Now, with your current software, are you able to generate all the reports you'd like to be able to, or?
Not necessarily. All the reports we generate are very simple, and a lot of extra calculations and work are needed if we want reports that are actually useful to us.
We see. Now, let me address the issue of taxes. Do you handle the tax deposits, Ellen? The W-2s and quarterly billings, and have you ever had any problems doing so?
Yes, I handle all of those, and we did have an issue one time about 4 years ago for late reporting, and we had to pay a fine for that.
Okay, Dr. Page. Now, from what we have gathered, we understand the majority of the problem you're facing is time consumption. But at the same time, you're enduring a lack of simplicity in your current system, a loss of money due to errors from the system, cutting and stuffing checks, and a great deal of stress on your wife with the increasing amount of responsibility she's taking on. Would you be interested if we told you that we had a system that could alleviate all of these problems?
Of course, as we expand the work, it's just going to increase and more.
Well, firstly, to address the issue of payroll, we understand, Ellen, that you are taking a great deal of time calculating time cards, keying in data, and then cutting and stuffing checks. The cool thing is with ADP, which is an online-based system, it allows your payroll to be automatically calculated anytime and anywhere. These payroll cards can be sent directly to our people at ADP, and your payroll will be automatically calculated and viewed at any time. So that takes a lot of responsibility off your hands. Does this sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds great. It sounds like I would get a lot of extra time back, and I would love that.
Oh, perfect. Now, we remember that you mentioned expansion earlier in our conversation. With our software, we eliminate all the sifting through resumes. We do pre-screening and background checks for you based on specialized hiring criteria to create so that only employees that best fit the criteria you detailed are shown to you. Does that sound beneficial?
Absolutely.
Okay, let us get into the tax services of ADP. What our tax service does is automatically calculate each tax for you. We know all federal, state, and local jurisdictions and their regulations, which we know has been proven hard to keep up with. Also, instead of paying one large sum at tax time, we allocate the cost over the years so you're not hit real hard with a big amount to come up with in such a short amount of time.
All this sounds great, but may I address a few of my concerns?
Of course, Dr. Page, go right ahead.
A number of my colleagues who run their individual practices have mentioned that the customer service for ADP just wasn't the greatest. How do I know that I'll receive good service and won't be treated as just another customer?
Well, Dr. Page, Ellen, and Mr. Smith, within the last 5 years, we've fixed out a great deal of kinks and problems in our customer service structure. So basically, our customer retention rate has jumped to over 90%, and we now ensure that the client is the most important priority to us. If need be, we could arrange a meeting with our current client for them to explain what they think of our current customer service performance, if that'd be all right with you.
I just may take you up on that. Additionally, I'm hesitant to commit because you mentioned the entire system was automated. Ellen, how do you feel about that? You're not the most technologically savvy person.
Well, it does make me kind of nervous because a lot of it will be completely new to me.
Well, the great news is that ADP offers an entire implementation team. So basically, when you sign up for the new system, we have an entire team that comes in and walks you through the ins and outs of the entire system. And we also offer various demos on the software after our initial walkthroughs with our team. If you still feel uneasy, and how do you carry out these specific tasks? Sorry, we had a little power outage here.
Not a problem, not a problem.
I can actually show you a quick demo of one of the apps we have for our mobile devices now. So if you look right here, it's laid out pretty simple for you guys. If you look at the bottom, we have the payroll laid out for you guys. So if you click that right there, we have you just press the new to start the new weekly payroll, and once that loads up, you have the check date, the start date, the end date, and the direct deposit, which you can turn on and off depending on the employee with their preferences. And then you press start, and you have all of the basic platform laid out for you guys, and you guys can set it to your preference. Continue to press next, and it takes you to all the different employees, and you can preview all that by pressing any of the employees' names, and it takes you to their hourly rate, where you can adjust everything accordingly. Also, if you'd like, if you're while you're working in the demo and you're having problems, we also have a few help links. If you press the more button, we have tips of the week where if you're having any problems, it can address those issues.
There's a week, hopefully I'm not gonna need that one.
Yeah, this is very user friendly for you guys, and this will make your job so much easier for you.
It looks like it.
So it's a pretty basic app. It's very user friendly.
That all looks very nice, but lastly, there's the issue of cost. How much would a product like this cost me?
Well, we don't have an exact quote with us at this time, but I can assure you, based on the numbers you've run by us today, the software we offer will cut your costs virtually in half. In addition, ADP has been shown to free up about 60% of a worker's time, which they can then reallocate to other business-related tasks, which then can increase your profit rather than calculating payroll and other miscellaneous tasks that you guys have already been through.
I would look forward to getting that exact quote on your software sometime.
Well, we understand you're a very busy man, so we'll let you go at this time, but how would you like to set up a second meeting in the near future so we could discuss these problems and concerns a little further?
That sounds great. I'll have you meet with my secretary and arrange a second meeting next week.
Great, we'll do just that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.